Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today's topic is Nigger Sleep New England from the Moving Image by Judith Wright, published in 1946. The poem is 27 lines divided into 4 stanzas. The poem is based on a favorite family camping spot frequented by Wright as a child. The poem begins with a description of the encouragement of the night that is also a plea for darkness, for the night to swallow the landscape. Here we see Judith Wright struggled with two opposing ideas: her love of the land on which she was raised and her knowledge that her family's ownership of that land was preceded by the dispossession of indigenous Australians. In her first poetry collection entitled The Moving Image 1946, Judith Wright attempts not only to reevaluate her country's past in order to narrow the emotional gap between Australians and their land, but also to achieve a personal reconciliation with the harshness of the Australian landscape and some of the figures that move in it. Okay, let's start the poem. The first stanza: the eastwards spurs steep backward from the sun. Backward from the sun, eastward going to the point. Here spurs means speed and tip means top point. Next line: night runs an obscure tide round cap and bay and beats with boat of cloud up from the sea against the sheer and limelit granite head. The meaning of next three lines: night runs as dim or mystical flow around cape and bay, and the sea beating the boats like covered with clouds against this straight and very hard granite head. The image of the night dominates this poem. Not only are the events of the past and resulting guilt repressed, but so are aborigines themselves. Here obscure means dim or mystical, cloud up means covered with cloud, sheer means straight, limelit means hard or very hard. Next, swallow the spine of range, be dark or lonely air. Swallow the backward of range, be dark or lonely air. Acknowledgement of the dark side of her desire to possess beloved landscape of Australia informs much of her poetry that has typically been characterized as dark. Next, make a cold quilt across the bone and skull that screamed, falling in flesh from the lipped cliff, and then were silent, waiting for the flies. Nigger Sleep New England, based on a particular incident of European reprisal in New South Wales in 1844. The poem recalls how the helpless niggers pursued to the top of the lipped cliff, screamed, falling in flesh from those heights, and then were silent. The fallen dead bodies of the native Australians are being lifted by the flies. The image of the cold quilt is an uneasy one, and not simply because the quilt functions as a shroud for the corpses. The quilt, which would represent warmth and comfort, is made strange by coldness. What should be reassuring is the opposites. And thus the image lends to the darkly terrifying first stanza a feeling of the uncanny, the anxiety that results when something familiar becomes alive because it has been repressed. And the second stanza: here is the symbol and the climbing dark, a time for synthesis. The symbol of death, the symbol of darkness, and the symbol of peace, arousing from darkness and slavery. Night weighs no warning over the rocks that wait our nails. No bell sound for the mariners. Here Judith Wright wants to say that the English people did not inform the aborigines of their arrival. Even their ship failed to send the signal of the dangers. Now must we measure our days by nights, our tropics by their poles, love by its ends, and all our speech by silence. The present life of the native Australians is highly paradoxical in nature. Their days are measured by their nights, their tropics by poles, their speech by silence, and their loves by its ends. See in this gulf how small the light of home. They feel timid in their homeland. Here voice means maintain, tropics mean ecliptics. Okay, today up to this. For next stanza, open part 2.